honestly don't even know I don't even know where to start. Okay? I feel like honestly and truthfully that Bravo is ruining the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I think that Andy is so out of touch. And if I'm being, I just think that he's out of touch. I think that I knew that Andy was out of touch when he was talking about Kenya after the episode aired with Kenya and of Kenya returning to the show. And, they was asking, it was a woman on the street asking Andy if Kenya was going to be returning to the show as if she was going to be on the reunion. And he was talking about, well, I'm just so worried about Phaedra and the show is getting so good. And when Phaedra get back, Phaedra is not really doing nothing. She's doing a whole bunch of nothing. I think that the things that Phaedra is doing is cheap shots, and I think that it's really giving Punk puss.
Like what?
Like, that's the reason why.
Phaedra is not that girl. Y'all trying to make Phaedra happen. Phaedra has never been that girl. The only reason why Married to Medicine worked and the ratings got higher when Phaedra got over there was because Sweet Tea was there. And it wasn't even just really about Sweet Tea. It was the dynamic of Greg having his new wife on the show and his ex-wife on the show.
Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that.
Simple as that. They don't want to give it to Sweet Tea because, however you feel about Sweet Tea or the way that she look or whatever it is. But the dynamic was that Greg's ex-wife and his new wife was on the show. That's what it was. It was not because of Phaedra. So Brit E-BT was not at the reunion.
It's major. You lying to me.
I initially thought, Brit has been trying to give us this whole season that she's this paid girl. Her tagline is I'm pretty and paid.
Cannot trick me. You cannot trick me. Yeah.
And I was this video vixen in high school. You know what I'm saying? And you was not a video vixen. Okay? You did porn. You keep saying your dad left your mama this $2 million insurance policy. It was never given. Neverland. It didn't happen. I don't believe that he gave her the policy. Y'all had to do a GoFundMe to throw dirt in his face. Okay? You had the event. You couldn't even afford to feed the people that was there. You couldn't even give money to the people in Grenada, And so I initially thought that when she was not at the reunion, I thought that maybe she was using a buddy pass and she just didn't arrive in New York on time. But she was not there. She was a no-show. Okay. So Brit released a statement. She said, as everyone is now aware, I'm not attending the reunion. This was my decision. The events of this season have devastated me. And while I cannot say much right now, I do want to set the record straight about one thing. The graphic sexual photo surrounding the events in episode 5. The photo was not of me.
Say what? What?
As the episode makes clear, I did not see that photo at the time. Rather, I was made aware of the photo being presented at the event, and based on what I was told, assumed it was somehow a photo of me, which is why I reacted the way that I did. I do not know who was in the photo, but upon seeing it for the first time recently, I now know that it was not me. I look forward to seeking accountability and moving past this dark part of my life. Brit, okay? Which is why Kenya should not have showed the photo, right? It wasn't going to do any good for Kenya to show the photo if Brit wasn't going to see it, right? Once Brit walked out, it was nobody for Kenya to gag. You understand what I'm saying? It was nobody for Kenya to gag. Kenya wanted to show the photo to gag Brit and embarrass her in front of everyone, but you didn't even get a chance to gag her because she was already out. If it was a photo, she's claiming it was a photo of not of her. Now, where I'm confused is she said something to the effect of, which is why I reacted the way that I did.
Bitch, please.
You're not gonna rewrite history because we saw what went on. You threatened Kenya with the gun before she showed the photo.
100% correct.
That was before. So I don't know what you mean in the way I reacted the way that I did. Okay? And this is why I tell y'all, so much. I am totally against, and even, shout out to Forever. I'm totally against you doing anything on camera, having a picture, a video, or whatever it is. Don't let nobody do it of you, and tell your kids and stuff not to do it either.
Message.
Because it never leaves. Because if Kenya, let's just say if it had been me, I know motherfucking well Kenya ain't got a picture of me out there sucking dick. First of all, I'm a virgin, and I ain't never sucked no dick.
Yup.
But second of all, ain't nobody ever took no picture of me like that. It ain't gonna be no pictures out there of me like that. I can say that confidently. But Brit couldn't say it comfortably because there may be pictures out there of her like that.
Cause you a hoe. I knew you was a hoe before you moved up here.
You never really know. There may be pictures up there about her like that before, but my whole thing is, girl, what was this whole story that you made up about it? That you was young and you was with, what is the story that you made up about it? And what was the story that Porsha made up about it, saying that you was underage? That's the thing. What is these stories you made up about it? You was young and you had a boyfriend and he took a picture of you. What is these stories that you made up? And what is this lying all along about your license being taken away and you was being under investigation?
You lying ass bitch.
Like Angela said, the situation was already bad enough. You did not have to add any more to it. And you taking RHOA out of your bio means nothing, girl. You're trash. You're trash. I honestly think that Bravo hiring Brit lowered their stock. Hiring Brit E-BT was a joke. It was a joke. Hiring Brit was a joke. This girl is not of the Real House. She's just not it. She's just not it. But I'm really trying to understand what was this story that you and Porsha had coming up about you being underage. And it's really giving punk puss. It's really giving, you knew that it was going to come out. Some stuff was going to come out about you at this reunion and you couldn't show your face. I believe it's something more behind the scenes. I initially thought that Bravo, so let's talk about Kenya. Kenya also put out a post. Kenya Moore also put out a post. She said, I'm disappointed to not be a part of the RHOA season 16 reunion taping today. Please know I take full accountability for my actions and deeply apologize to all those affected, including Britney, the cast, crew, guests, and viewers. I look forward to seeing you all back on Bravo soon, okay? I look forward to seeing you back on Bravo soon does not mean that she's going to be coming back to Bravo, right? But she was not invited. For the most part, I think that Kenya, I don't think that she went, do I think that she handled herself well? Let me think. Of course, when the episode aired, she had some, going back and forth or whatever, but, I don't think that she, went balls to the wall. I don't think that she just misbehaved. You know what I'm saying? Do I think it was enough? I do. That doesn't mean that she's going to be coming back. We don't know. Her saying that she looked forward to seeing us on Bravo, just because she looks forward to it does not mean that it's going to happen. And also, it doesn't mean that she's going to be on Real Housewives of Atlanta. It could be another show that she's going to be on. I don't know. I just wish people would talk plain and talk clear in what's going on. I will say this, though, about Kenya. I did not like that Kenya put the eyes up when the ratings dropped when Phaedra got back.
It ain't no black girl magic in this circle.
At all.
It ain't no goddamn black excellence.
Because my thing is, y'all, you and Phaedra are downing the show when y'all are not on it, but y'all need the show because y'all keep coming back. Y'all keep coming back. Okay? And it's giving sore loser. It's like y'all are rooting for the show to be bad when y'all not there. It's giving sore loser. Even though the picture, they're saying that the picture is not of Brit, I still feel like Kenya was out of line. And I still think that Kenya should have been fired.
I don't give a fuck what y'all saying. I don't give a fuck what y'all saying at all.
It doesn't matter if the picture was of Brit or not. She showed pornographic images to her co-workers, okay? And it's not assault, but it could be considered sexual assault. And that's just the truth. That's just the truth, okay? Now, let's get to this seating chart, okay? Now, when I seen this seating chart, I almost gagged. And am I to understand that this seating chart is going to be. So from what it's given me, Phaedra and Cynthia, friends of the show, right? The aunties are going to be sitting on the stage the whole time.
In some ways,
So we got Andy to his right, our left. We have Porsha, Phaedra, and then Cynthia. Now, Phaedra came back episode 12. So Phaedra will be 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So Phaedra will only be on 5 episodes, and she's already seated in front of Cynthia.
That is some bullshit.
For what? That must be a hell of a season finale her and Angela getting into it with. Because, you know, honestly and truthfully, Cynthia was playing, you know, pulled up auntie. She was trying to be the voice of reason with the girls. I really respected Cynthia's role on the show this season. Phaedra is giving punk puss. Andy trying to make Phaedra work. Phaedra not that girl. I think it's because Andy not, and I don't want to put race in it, but I think it's because Andy not one of us. Phaedra not that girl. Phaedra giving punk puss. Phaedra giving punk puss. She come over here and she be mean girls with the Atlanta girls, but you was over there running from the girls from Married to Medicine. They mean girls, but you come over here and she not doing a good job, Andy. You like the shade and stuff that she's giving, but it's giving punk puss. And it's giving like you trying to haze, but you can be hazed. You can be hazed over there. Okay? Then we got to Andy's left, our right, we got Shamina.
Yes, angry, black, bald head.
What the fuck has Shamina done this season that will give her first seat at the reunion? Like, Shamina storyline is Porsha. Even with her tagline, I've always been, what was it? +1, baby, I've always been that one. You're not, baby. You're always number 2.
You're used to being my runner-up and being behind me. Don't switch the game up now, mama.
You always number 2 when it comes to you and Porsha. What did Shamina do to get first seat? Yes, she came on the show. She tried to bring lifestyle. Did she really give lifestyle?
Hell no.
No, she gave money, but she not giving lifestyle. Lifestyle is somebody who somebody aspires to be. When I see Shamina with Gucci on, I don't even want to wear Gucci no more. She made me not even want to put it on. She did not give lifestyle. Nothing about Shamina's life except for her husband's bank account is giving lifestyle. Nothing about it. Nothing about her whole life is giving lifestyle. Her storyline and her claim to fame is this beef and her friendship with Porsha, and we're just not interested.
No,
We're just not interested. Nobody cares about you and Porsha friendship and how you feel Porsha is stomping on your heart, stepping on it and shit.
How you not gonna hurt me? He breaking my heart, stepping on it and shit.
Nobody cares. Angela is seated next to Shamina. Then we got Kelly next to Angela. And then we got Drew at the end of the couch. So it seems you know, I'm trying to understand. Help me get it straight. How is we got Porsha sitting on the couch next to 2 friends of the show, and then we got Angela, Kelly, and Drew all on the same end of the couch. Did it start off like this? I need to know. Did Drew move? We know, I guess we had to have it like that because I seen that Porsha and Kelly, I didn't really pay attention to it, but I seen Kelly and Porsha was beefing, you know, before the reunion aired. So we can't have Kelly sitting on this with Porsha. Somebody might reach out and touch somebody, and we can't get Drew over there. Okay. Now, if it was me, if I was making the seating chart, I would have Porsha one end of the couch. Shamina would be sitting next to her. Y'all already made up. You know what I'm saying? They would be sitting next to each other because nobody really care about y'all friendship. And maybe we can add Kelly next to Shamina because Kelly is Shamina's lap dog. Okay? On the other end of the couch, we could bring Angela. We could bring Drew. And then we could put Cynthia on the side of Drew. And then we could put Phaedra. We could bring Phaedra on Porsha's side. So we could bring Phaedra in, and Shamina ain't really nobody. We could move Shamina down And we can move Shamina down when Porsha come. You know how Nene used to come on remember Nene used to come into the reunion season 8 and they moved Porsha down? We gonna move Shamina on down when Phaedra come out.
And will the three of y'all unanimously scoot to the other side of the table?
Because you ain't really giving nothing. And that should be the reunion. That should be the reunion season. But the thing is this, Brit took RHOA out of her bio. But the thing is this. So that means, from what they say, you know, they've been saying it for a long time, you get the rest of your money or another part of your money when you complete the reunion. But the thing is this, if Brit is coming back, you know, the girls take RHOA out their profile all the time, right? They do it at Beverly Hills every season, okay? Should Brit come back or not, if she came to the reunion or not? Because the thing is this, and this is when they show favorites. Phaedra did not go to the Married to Medicine reunion, and it seemed like she was awarded coming over to the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
I just don't get it.
I do think that Brit season, I wouldn't even call it a one season wonder because nobody's wondering about her. I think that Bravo, the fact that she couldn't even come to the reunion to me was a slap in the face to Bravo. But I initially thought that they didn't invite Brit because they realized that they was wrong for not getting rid of Brit and Kenya, and they just disinvited both of them. But honestly and truthfully, we haven't seen the rest of the season yet, but for season 16 so far, the biggest thing that happened this season was Kenya and Brit. That was the biggest thing that happened this season. So I do believe that those girls, if they weren't at the reunion, there should have been some type of sit-down special that Andy had with both of the girls, or one-on-one where Kenya gets to explain her side of the story. And you know, I just feel like they should have did something, because that is why a lot of people tuned in this season, to see what actually happened with Kenya and Brit. Okay? But I just think that Bravo, they're ruining the show. They're ruining the show. And the seating chart tells us that they're out of touch with what the viewers want or what the viewers deserve. They're out of touch with their audience. Okay? Now, I was seeing some discourse online about, or discussion online about Drew being first seed.
Y'all niggas done lost your mind. Might as well not even talk about this shit no more.
In what world? In what world would Drew be first seed? Porsha was her storyline. Don't get me wrong, Drew did good this episode. This is the thing, y'all don't like Porsha, and I get it, right? But Drew has not done enough this season to be sitting first chair. She can get second chair after Angela. But Drew had one good episode. But she hasn't done enough to, you know, for her to be sit number one. Y'all have to think about the entire season as a whole and stop thinking about 1 or 2 episodes. To say that Drew should be sitting next to Andy is crazy. Okay? But y'all, that's all I got right now. I had to come down here for the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion. Me personally, I am loving the season. It's not giving old school Real Housewives of Atlanta. It will never give that. But the show is good, okay? And so I'm interested in watching. Do I think the reunion gonna be good? I'm just telling you right now, I don't want to hear nothing about Shamina crying all day about Porsha being this bad friend of her. I don't give a fuck, okay? But y'all, that's all I got right now. Thank y'all so much for clicking on the video, and I'll see y'all later. Adios.
Call daddy, tell him 25 got it. Call daddy, tell him 25 got it. Call daddy, tell him 25 got it.